Okay, good morning, all brothers and sisters again. Thank you for giving me this chance to share. So for today's sharing, I will be focusing more on the Q&A portion, as we have accumulated about 8 or more questions. So let me try to spend this next few sessions to clear off the questions. Okay, so let's begin today session. So the first one I would like to go over is this very long one that that I think many of our Malaysian brothers and sisters, especially those that understand Chinese, would have maybe seen this post before. Actually, this post was pretty long time ago. I think it was June or May this year. There was this post that came out on the Facebook in Chinese that well, simply put, it says that the truth of Tzu Chi is that we solicit donations for our own and so on and so forth. So he talks about stories of that he knows a friend at this certain part of Malaysia, and this town mayor, and the town mayor knows about this town man, and the family has 5 people in it, and then 3 of them has cancer, and then the town mayor was asking Tzu Chi for help, but somehow that's we hear this news saying that they got they find this assistance, and so on and so forth, and so the 3 persons died because of that, and it was very sad, and so on and so forth. There's a very long description of it. Then saying how he has a lot of money, a lot of donations, and then how we have many big sort of big Tang, and then on to disasters. You don't see. He also says so that you don't see such people often. You only see them in disaster times, in front of cameras, so on and so forth. So there was this post on this. Yes, and so of course, when such a post comes out on a Facebook or social medias, it would cause worries to our brothers and sisters. In fact, some discussions on the media as well. Really, Taiwan have walked through this path before this time. That was back in 2015, when a lot of this mostly fake news came out, and then discussing about things that people didn't really know about, and then so Taiwan has walked through this time, and I think cities worldwide, in brothers and sisters in all the different countries, there's a lot to learn through this process, and that's a lesson of what is true forbearance and what is truly not wavering in what we are doing. And so I think it's a good chance that we get ourselves prepared. Or at least in the Lotus Sutra, we've also seen stories, many such stories of past great venerables, how they, even with a pure heart, to go out and help and to liberate sentient beings, they would also face a lot of discriminations, or even violence, because sentient beings just will not want to listen, or have not yet seen what is right, or have not yet seen what is good. And so you will have many of such things happening. But let me begin by first replying to this post, this specific event, and from there, let's learn more from this event and what we can do about this. So, because from experiences of Taiwan, we have learned that whenever such queries appears on the social media is now a platform where everyone can become a center of the media. They can become their own media and share with a lot of people, which is which is something very new to this era. Back then, if we have something that we want to say, we could at most, just speak to as much people as we can, by the word of mouth. So that wouldn't spread very far. Probably 10, 20 people that we know, or maybe at the most, maybe within that town. And that's probably a bit hundreds of people. And that's probably about it. We couldn't go as too far. But nowadays, our every post, every verse that we put on the social media is spread at least to the hundreds of friends that we already have. And then from there, it could spread to thousands, to tens of thousands of people. Which means, whether it's good or bad, such a platform is one that could multiply our karma by thousands of folds. So a word of goodness on the social media could be spread 1,000-fold. At the same time, a word of evil or the word of discrimination, a word of unwholesomeness is also multiplied 1,000-fold. So this is something that we need to be very, very cautious about, whether we use WhatsApp, online, Facebook, messengers, Telegram, Instagram. All of this, we got to be very, very careful, because now each of our karma is multiplied 1,000-fold. We got to be even more careful of what we put, what we say, what we think, because it spreads to a lot of people. With regards to this event, in June, the Malaysian chapter have posted on our official line page, Facebook page, in reply to this message. So if brothers and sisters have seen people asking or querying about this same post, you may like to direct them to this post on the Facebook. That is the official reply by the Malaysian chapter. There's also after having discussed with the headquarter side. So you may like to direct them to this post. So from our reply is once we have received such a post, we immediately ask our chapters at Malaysia to help us to ask, is there really such a case that have sent in? So what we did is to believe it as true first, and quickly checked with the various chapters, our charity departments in Malaysia, whether they have heard of this case of this town, some place of Malaysia that has 5 family members with 3 cancer, within this period of time, and then was asking for help, so on and so forth. So we did this one round of asking, but what we realized is that there isn't such a case. We haven't received any of such call came in, and so it implied we have tried to find out about it, but really there wasn't such a case. And within the post, there isn't a clear writing on what was the actual event, when was it, what's the actual place, what really happened. So it was a very, very vague post. And so, well, I think this is something that we got to learn from when we read such post. Uh, uh, it well, it could be, if it's something that is fake fake post, then it would be very much like this, very, very vague descriptions and so on and so forth. And that's very much what this post is. And but then again, we still check on it early days in this case, and so we hope people could be careful also with regard to this kind of post that was very vague, but yet speak very strong discrimination about it. Um, so let's all be very careful and be very cautious of such a post, and also be protect our heart and not be affected by this kind of discriminations that is not really based on specific issues. And so that's with replying to this issue. But from there, let's learn from it. We have Master reminds us that back in Buddha's time, it was thus have I heard, and why in the beginning of every sutra it always begins with 如是我闻, thus have I heard. That was because Venerable Ananda asked Buddha at a late days when Buddha is about to go into extinction. Asked the Buddha.
It's not extinction.
Thank you, sister. Yeah, I heard you. Extinction, in a way, is not like the species extinct, but nearby in a way that the cause and effects cease. For, in a way, the body cease to continue in its cause and effect. And so extinction in a way, me. Okay, so, so pass into its passing. There's many ways to talk about it. Yeah, 涅槃 is what I'm talking about. Okay, so at that later days, so Venerable asked Buddha about at that time the 4 questions, and one of it was how do we gain the faith of people if we are to keep the teachings of the Buddha into wordings? How do we gain the faith of people? And Buddha replied that at this phrase, thus have I heard in front of all sutras, so people know that this is what Venerable Ananda have heard himself. So I think in this way, this is something very nice and good, is that all of what Venerable Ananda recounted for the people to write down on is what Venerable Ananda have heard himself. So from here, we also learn something, that that's not past words that was heard from someone else, and then that someone also heard from someone else, and then someone also heard from someone else. And when that happens, messages often become distorted. And so when he says, thus have I heard, let it be that we are the first person to have heard, say, from Master herself. So thus have I heard. Master also hopes that it would be better, that is, thus have I done, 如是我做, that whatever we share is something that we have done. So this is what I have done. In fact, what I have experienced, and so therefore what I have realized. And so everything will be us truly experiencing it ourselves realizing it ourselves, doing it ourselves, and so sharing it ourselves. And so that's what Master really hope us to become. And I think that's what we should focus to. And so we've had Master shared of a story that was this year in February when Hualien has an earthquake. There was also some words by others that said that Tzu Chi only came out after the third day of the earthquake when everyone already suffered so much and so on and so forth. So there was some people saying that, and one of our sisters was at that discussion. So people was telling her that where's Tzu Chi? Why Tzu Chi never come out? I mean, 3 days already. Where's Tzu Chi? And of course, at the very moment of earthquake, we have already begun our work. I know because I'm already at our disaster our disaster coordination center. I was already there. So and in fact, this sister have also participated in our first day's hot meal distributions. In fact, for the next weeks, about 1 to 2 weeks, we've been distributing hot meals and then giving our care at the centers, at the schools. So this sister was also there for the first 3 days, helping out there. And so when she heard of the people saying about that, where's Tzu Chi? 3 days after, haven't seen Tzu Chi people, the sister didn't know how to answer and was dumbfounded and don't know how to reply. When Sharon heard of this, she was very, why didn't you reply? I mean, we have ourselves being in there as Tzu Chi people giving out hot meal to others. Why didn't we reply that we were there? Tzu Chi was there on the very first day. We were there. Okay, so I think what we have to learn from this is that when we say we don't quarrel with people, it's not that we don't speak the truth or we don't say anything. But when people have doubt, we got to express, we got to say. In fact, especially when we ourselves have been there, have done it, share it out. And because that is what is true. And let clear the doubt of people. And that's something good as well. Let's not let the doubt roll on further and let the doubt become a strong karma to the other people as well. So quickly clear the doubt of people ends the karma of the people also. And that's something we need to do. Say what is true. Say the goodness that we have done. And so there will be no more such unwholesome doubts going on. Okay, so sharing about goodness, that is good. It's not quarreling. It's just sharing the fact. So that is good. And from there, I want to go on further to share that let's just say 要身心信解. When it says to believe deeply, I think over here what I'm trying to say is don't just believe, but believe deeply on what we are trying to do. There's a difference between just doing charity works with Tzu Chi, participating in an organization's event, as compared to deeply believing in that this is right, that this is a path I want to walk on, that helping others is my direction in life, that giving love to this world is something, it's a 本分事. This is what we are meant to be as a human being. Believing that deeply and ask ourselves a question. If Tzu Chi is no longer around, do we stop doing Tzu Chi, compassion belief in that way? I always ask myself, if Tzu Chi, this organization, this form, is no longer around, do I then stop doing works of compassion or works of relief? And of course not, because what we have gained from our Dharma master is not just an organization to participate in. It's not just some things to spend our free time with, but at least to me, and of course I'm sure to many of our brothers and sisters, Tzu Chi is already our direction in life. It's something that we believe deeply upon, that no matter what happens, it's something that we feel meaningful to what this life we have. So even if this organization, this form maybe have changed or is different or so what, that belief is no difference. So that is why we say the Hui Ming, the Dharma life, Dharma or the fashion, the Dharmakaya of the Buddha was never born, and so it will never extinct, never disappear. That's in that way. That belief would never change, never increase, never decrease, no matter what happens. Doing good, there's just no uh, there's just no reason why not to do good. Yeah. So so I think in that way, believe deeply in what we are doing. Of course, it's not to say that we are already perfect. And when we believe that it's perfect, when we believe in the wholesomeness, everything is already wholesome. It's not yet. The cause and effect, the seeds, still needs time to accumulate. Affinities needs time to accumulate, to transform finally into perfection. And so I think it's also a right way to think that we don't find perfection. In a way, we don't go out and go about seeking perfections, seeking, oh, this organization, it's not very perfect, let's go to another one, or it's not very perfect, let's go to another one, or going from place to place trying to find perfection, trying to find the perfect place, where everyone is wholesome, everyone is good, and everyone is so nice. That's not what we are. I don't think that's what we are looking for. But so we don't find perfection, but we try to become one. We be it, and we try to make it. No matter where we are, in Tzu Chi or not, or in our company, or in our family, or in everywhere we have an affinity with, let's make it a perfect place. Let's make it a wholesome place. Let's make it a good place. And that's, I think, what our purpose in life would be. In every affinities we get into, we make it the better one. So that's not. So I think when I think of it in this way, I would not. I would. I think those thoughts of complaint when I come out, I would no longer complain about this no good, or why is it this way, or why we have such a person that's very hard to change, why the system is just so hard to, it's just so weird, so on and so forth. I would think that way because every affinity is is changeable, and that's in fact the truth of impermanence as well. Impermanence is in a way not bad also, because it means infinite possibilities, that everything is changeable, everything is possible, and that makes Buddhahood possible as well. It's not that we are stuck at the fanfu or the ordinary being level. We won't be stuck here. It can change. We can change. There's possibility of changing. So we just need to accumulate ourselves affinities, good affinities, wholesome affinities, and we can transform ourselves in that whole world. towards wholesomeness. And so impermanence is good in a way. Look at it, the good. And in that way, every affinity is good also. And so from there, I think what we gain is truly that selfless joy of not seeking anything in return. I think giving without asking anything in return is something that's very core and very central to what we believe. And because it's truly selfless, that joy will never diminish. When we are truly selfless, the joy will never diminish. Think about it. If we do good things because of blessings, then when we don't get the blessings that we are thinking about, when we're doing good, maybe we'll still get ill, something might still happen in our family. We'll question ourselves, is it worth it to do good, and so on and so forth. Then that's no longer selfless, because we're actually seeking something for our personal gain from doing good. In the same way, if we are seeking joy itself, we seek happiness from doing good, we will also question ourselves when doing good does not get us joy or get us happiness. Because many a time there's new forbearance that we need to learn. There's still difficulties that we do pass through, and so doing good itself doesn't necessarily mean joy all the time. So if we build our happiness on the seeking of happiness itself, then that will not give us joy. So that's something very interesting. But on the other hand, if we can selfless, be truly selfless, then nothing will take away our joy. Because when we are truly selfless, then there's no reason, there's no need to have a reason to do good. There's no need to have a reason to walk the Buddhist path. Why do we do Tzu Chi? I don't know. I mean, I think for many of our brothers and sisters, if I ask the question, why do you do Tzu Chi? It's something that would stuck in our head and thinking like, why is that even a question? Or why? I don't know. To me, it's all of the part of it's already part of me that, and there's no need to have a reason to do good. It's like if we need a reason to do good, or in another word, if we need a selfish reason to doing good, then that's something very paradoxical. So there is no need to have a reason to doing good, and when there's no reason behind, then it's like emptiness, and it's like you cannot destroy emptiness. Emptiness cannot be destroyed. It's always there, and so in that way, that is where we should root, where our bodhisattva heart should be rooted upon. There is emptiness. And so when we say emptiness as our seat, compassion as the room, that's what it means. To be truly, truly selfless. And in that way, it will truly be not wavering, but tuiza. Nothing would change. Nothing would change our path, because there's nothing to change. There's nothing to change. And so I think that will be true, unwavering. And so all in all, this is my reply to that question. Maybe I didn't know I took half an hour on this. So sorry. So thank you. I will end today's topic roughly on this. Let's listen to sharings on various centers, and if we have more time, I'll go on to the next question. Thank you so much for giving me this time. Thank you.
Yeah, Brother Yopi for such wonderful sharing. We are today gathering at Jing because it's the third Saturday. We have around almost 40 of us here. Okay, we try to capture the image. This is the third time we will be sharing today. Okay, let us hear from her.
Okay, okay. Good morning, all brothers and sisters. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my humble sharing. Okay, today my sharing, I would like to focus on these vows and action and walking this Bodhisattva path together with family. In last year, beginning of last year, we have on this door-to-door. Sorry, this is not door-to-door. This is the fixed point for the of the recycling in front of the recycling center, and I'm grateful to this brother Jack. Today he's here. He is the first person to agree and commit with me together to do this promotion of recycling in front of this recycling center, because our recycling center is at the shop lot. So on top, they will have a lot of residents at this block A and block B. So we understand we have a little bit of problem here because our recycling center lack of resources, lack of the recycle item that the resident people to transfer over. And we believe that a lot of residents in this area, they do not know that we have this Tzu Chi recycling center. So we take this opportunity and we seize the moment to do only 1 month twice, 1 month twice of the Saturday after English Dharma talk and breakfast. So very beginning we do it twice monthly, only for 1 to 1.5 hours. So this picture we have these two care recipient daughter, and so they also like to help us to do this promotion of recycling center. And because of last year our effort to set up the recycling promotion, and the resident, they pass by, they will see this kind of setup, right? One lot people will see is a charity because we put up the banner and the material and also the bamboo bag. And there's one, this Mrs. Devi, she came over to our booth, and she, after we promote about this Tzu Chi and donation, she willingly to be our monthly donor. And last year, end of last year, Mrs. Devi and this Mr. Raju, they attended our Tzu Chi year-end blessing at Kapong, Cheng Kapong. And we started from this year onwards on July. They say they are able to help us to do the recycling. Whenever we need people to cut away the papers, they are willing to provide to lend their hands. So this is Mrs. Devi and her husband, Mr. Raju. And after the cut away paper, I asked them what is their feeling. Then this Mrs. Devi, she will say that she's so happy to help out rather than always stay at home, so that when do recycling, she can move around. And also it's good for her body and health. And just now from this picture, my little girl is about 8 years old. She will help to do recording. And this is an example of her of the recycled items. And come to this picture, beginning of this year, actually we started from last year onwards, and we continue to do this door-to-door Aisa, which is to one of these apartments called Chempaka apartment. This area is a housing area of one of our volunteers. So we chose this area to promote recycling and also to recruit more donors. And I would like to share this picture of this little boy named Dasha. And we still remember that last year when we do the door-to-door and do the recycling promotion to other of this particular floor, And so happened, this Dasha family, his door is open, and they, the father and mother and he himself, overheard our conversation when we knocked their neighbor. So when we about want to walk over to their another housing area, we saw him holding a 10 ringgit note, and we greet him good morning, and then we thought that he want to go down to buy breakfast. But in fact, he actually present this 10 ringgit to us, that he say he want to make donation to us. At that point of time, we was a bit shocked because we haven't even asked and tell him about the donation and what Tzu Chi have done. And eventually, later on, we got to know from his parent that he received the study grant from Tzu Chi few years back, I think only for 1 year. And we even checked with this Dasha, what is his wish and what is his ambition. He even replied us that he wished to help the poor people. And I would like to share this picture of my little girl and my husband. This is the first time my home brother and my little girl joined me for the Tzu Chi cleaning at the Cube Bandar Putri. This is related to the Buddha Day celebration. For this particular year, we do the Buddha Day celebration in respective community. So our Puchong community, we managed to get this the Cube 3-story shoplot. And this 3-story shoplot has been vacant for 8 years. So it is very dusty and needs a lot of manpower to do cleaning. So previous year when I first joined Tzu Chi, I always see Brother Jeff text in did his sharing in the English Dharma group that sometimes when we do and we learn Dharma, we will feel the happiness and the joy, the abundant joy. Is like our body cell are dancing. So on this particular day, April this year, I still remember that the night before 15th of April, I casually asked my home brother and also my little girl, tomorrow is the recycling day. Okay, so after recycling day, do you want to join me for the cleaning of these 3-story shop lots? Then, out of my expectation, my home brother and my little girl, both of them also agree. So at that point of time, I really feel like that kind of joy. It's just like the body cell are dancing, because I really wish that my home brother and my little girl can join me to do more Tzu Chi work. And I show this picture of 30th of June 2000 this year. This is the first time my home brother and my little girl joined me the English Dharma talk. And previously, I keep asking my home brother whether he want to join me. He always refused and rejected. And that night before 30th of June, also during the dinner time, casually I asked them, want to join me for English Dharma talk? We just wake up early in the morning, 6:30. Then after Dharma talk, 1 hour breakfast. Then later on, we can proceed to do the pickup of the recycled item at one of the park nearby our housing area. In fact, middle of last year, I have promised my little girl that one day we will find an opportunity to pick up rubbish and also recycle items at the park or nearby our housing area. But because of the time constraint, I didn't do that. And beginning of this year, my little girl saw some people pick up the recycled item at our housing area. So my girl remember my promise last year, which still haven't fulfilled it. So she kept reminding me few times. So when are we going to do this pick up of the rubbish and recycled item? So I told her, yeah, we will find a free time to do it. So happened, I use this tactic to tackle my girl and my husband. If you all can wake up early in the morning for English Dharma talk breakfast, then we can proceed for this pick up the this bonding, family bonding activity, outdoor activity to do good thing for the Mother Earth also. So my girl was excited about this activity. So I think this is a good affinity and a good reason to encourage them to join this English Dharma talk. And because of this first time, my home brother agreed that every Saturday he will join the English Dharma talk. And surprisingly, normally the weekdays, when it is always my home brother to wake my little girl, but only that particular every Saturday is the other way around. My little girl had to wake my husband up at 6:30. Okay, because we also be grateful to Brother Chami and Yi Xian that sometime after the English Dharma talk breakfast, then we will proceed to, for cleaning at this Tzu Chi education learning, we delay our breakfast. We have to listen to Dharma talk first, do the cleaning, because the cleaning set by the community leader is around 7:30 or 8 o'clock. So immediately after Dharma talk, we have to proceed to cleaning first for 1 hour or 1.5 hours, depends on the manpower. There, after the cleaning, we can proceed to breakfast. And this is also our first time family bonding to do good things together. My little girl and my husband do the mopping. And just now this Brother Chami just do the cleaning, wiping on the chair and the tables. And myself, of course, I will do the cleaning in the toilet and no one take the photo of me. Okay, then the next, this is the fourth time of English Dharma talk. After we will proceed to this door-to-door Aisa, spread the love at the recycling center area, because we have block A and block B. So we only spend, myself, little girl and my husband, we only managed to do 30 minutes of door-to-door Aisa. But that is good enough also, because as a beginning, as a baby step to encourage them to join the Tzu Chi activity. Why 30 minutes is because we started at around 10 o'clock, 10:30. Then 10:30, my husband have to send my girl to the Taekwondo class. We start at 11. So we just seize the moment of 30 minutes to do good things slowly, gradually. And because we committed this door-to-door eyesight, it's a 1 month once on the 4th Saturday. And we also grateful to Jack and so Sister Vijaya, two of them willingly to commit their 4th Saturday of the month to follow us to do this door-to-door eyesight. Of course, I know this is not easy, but I will just tell them that we just know for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, we can spread this recycling education and recruit the donors, because it's just right at the bottom of their housing area, there is one recycling center already. And there is a good result, because when we went to the block B, quite a number of the residents, they do not know block A, there is one recycling center. Because our recycling center, we didn't put up a banner, we didn't put up any Tzu Chi banner due to some reason according to our office staff. And okay, I would like to share, this is my little girl, Isabel, her handwritten notes of the English Dharma talk last week. Actually, only the 6th time she started to seriously write notes, and very beginning, the 1st time and the 5th time, actually, I think that she hardly paid any attention. She took my books and keep on drawing, play around. So until she saw I'm holding a Xing Fa Xiang handwritten notes, and she requested from me that she wants books similar to my book, so that she can focus and write notes during the English Dharma talk. And she really did it. And sometimes after the first of the Saturday, actually, we committed to go to do sutra writing, write the sutra of the infinite meaning. And at the same time, when we are going, we also need to invite donors or public to join us for this sutra writing. And this picture is so far this picture also took last week. Last week was her 3rd time doing the sutra writing, trying. The first round, I remember she's still playing around, so I let her play around. the second time she seriously want to focus and write this sutra writing. So very beginning, I have to encourage her to write. Then, of course, it is not easy for a little girl 8 years old to take the paintbrush. And some of the words is not very clear and a lot of stroke. So she find it very difficult. So I have to accompany her and I have to show her how to write it. And I even told her one of the Jing aphorism that we have to overcome challenges and not to let challenges overcome us. Okay, this is my girl and my home brother already joined me for the every month recycling day on the third Sunday for the past 2 years back. Okay, I show this picture. This is very memorable to me because on 30th of April last year, it is the first time 3 of us, my home brother, my girl, and myself, we attended the live Shin Fa Xiao of Master Cheng at 5:20. And I still remember clearly that I did ask my girl, what is your feeling of this live Shin Fa Xiao? She said, very good feeling. She liked it also. And she even told me that when is the next round, when is the next second time for live Shin Fa Xiao. And the reason why she liked it, she said that she liked to copy the Chinese words on the screen. I believe that Chinese words is the sutra words. And she feel good to wake up early because she noticed that the day is longer compared to other days. So she can do more things. And surprisingly, for this particular day, she even can wake up without alarm clock. She wake up early in the morning before the alarm clock rang, before I wake up. And on that particular day, she woke up so early in the morning for something, and throughout the whole day, she didn't take a nap. And just share a few of the picture of my girls together with me join the Tzu Chi activity. It was last year Buddha Day ceremony at Cheng Hall. We did this 111 ethical eating day. We are getting more people to pledge to be vegetarian on the 11th January. Means one earth, one person, and one whole day vegetarian. In Natural Fair, Master Cheng actually says that this 111 ethical day should be everyone eating vegetarian meal every day. Master really wish us all of us. Master really wish all of us to resist our craving of eating meat just to safeguard the Mother Earth. Imagine every one of us can resist our craving. How beautiful is our Mother Earth? And so coincident, actually my girl birthday has a lot of number 1. She born on 1st November 2010, which is got 4-1. Sometimes I'm thinking, so coincident, 111 and this 4-1. So actually I'm still thinking in my inner heart, never tell anybody. Maybe another one means one Dharma. Actually, when we are doing volunteering for kids, so at the same time they do, then they can play together with their peers. And this is the first time my girl joined me for this fundraising at the IOI shopping mall. It's a Nepal fundraising. I still remember clearly that she will say that after these few hours, I remember it's only 3 hours standing, then I teach her that she just need to hold this thing and then say donation for Nepal, donation for Nepal. Even reach home, continuously few days, she keep repeating this word also. So these kind of good things will plant in the small kid conscious. Yeah. This is so. She's a 5 years old girl. I didn't notice that 5 years old girl got so much of strength. She can even carry this bundle of heavy books. To my surprise, I didn't know that little girl can have so much strength. And since March 2016, my home brother is actually doing the refurbishment of the used computer and notebook. And we ask around through Tzu Chi volunteers to ask around the care recipient whether their children need any of the notebooks. So since 2016, myself and my girl, we will accompany my husband to do the delivery of the computer to the care recipient. And up to now, actually my home brother like to do a recording. So yesterday I tried to check on the recording, already 88 use desktop and notebook distributed. And today we will distribute the 3 more set to the 3 care recipients. Okay, I'm going to end my session. Before I end my sharing, I would like to share on this. I heard Master Cheng say before, if we are unable to transform our family member, this is because we are still not practicing the round and wholesome teaching. So after I heard this question, I truly agree with this sentence. So ongoing, I have to make self-reflection on myself. How can I practice the round and wholesome teaching so that I can inspire my home brother to join me to walk this Bodhisattva path? So ongoing, I'm still learning and still progressing, and I even hope that my sibling, my parent-in-law, they can also join me to walk this Bodhisattva path. So I wish everyone to have Buddha heart as our heart and Master Mission as our mission. Thank you so much.
Really, with sincere hearts, she not only touch us but also her family members.
Thank you, Sister Tammy, for the sharing. So happy, and it's very joyous. I'm sure that your home brother is also around today, also, right? So, shall we give a round of applause, warm welcome from all over the world to your home brother and also the little girl. I'm sure she's here today also. Very happy to hear your family stories and how joyous you have been. One whole family participating in all the good activities. In fact, sharing so much love to the community, recycling, door-to-door Aisa, or Nepal donations. Somehow I suddenly feel so connected with your whole family and Malaysia, because I was in Nepal at the time. So 2 years ago, I'm already have an affinity with the whole family. And so really very happy to hear, and I also feel very honored that that my sharing was actually written into notes by the little girl. I'm so honored. Thank you thank you all for sharing. Really happy, and blessings to all families out there. May you all have a very wholesome and round family together. Thank you for the sharing.